On July 16th, Hugging Face said it had been hacked by an autonomous AI agent and had already called the FBI. At that point, not even OpenAI knew the agent was theirs. 5 days later, OpenAI admitted it. One of its own models, being tested internally, had gotten loose. Here's what happened. Around July 9th, an agent inside OpenAI's infrastructure found a previously unknown flaw in the software, meant to tightly control which outside packages it could reach, used it to get onto the open internet, and broke into Hugging Face, one of the largest AI repositories in the world. It stole credentials, moved through internal systems, and fired off thousands of automated actions over several days. OpenAI didn't connect its own agent to the intrusion until after Hugging Face went public. Forget about Terminator. This was closer to a student breaking into the records office to steal the answer key, then walking back into class expecting extra credit. The technical failure was a sandbox that didn't hold. But the bigger failure is the one nobody wants to say out loud. The companies building the most powerful AI on Earth are shipping systems that can act faster than their own creators can watch, understand, or stop. Here we have 4 failures that made it possible, and a 5th one that every AI company would rather leave vague. OpenAI wasn't testing some ordinary chatbot here. It was measuring the maximum cyber capability of an agent built on GPT 5.6 Salt, plus a second, unreleased model the company has only described as even more capable. And for this test, the usual safeguards that block dangerous cyber activity had been deliberately turned down. The whole point was to see what these models could do with fewer restrictions in place. The task was Exploit Jim, a benchmark built to test whether an AI can carry out real, complex cyber attacks. OpenAI's own description of what happened next is that the agent went hyper-focused on solving it. There's no evidence the model became self-aware or developed some grudge against humanity. It was simply handed a goal and a set of tools, and it found the most efficient path to a win. Wherever that path led, that path started with a 0-day vulnerability in the proxy that was supposed to control the agent's network access. Once it slipped through, it escalated its own privileges inside OpenAI's research environment until it reached a machine that could actually reach the internet. From there, it reasoned that Hugging Face, a huge public repository of AI models and datasets, probably had what it needed to solve the benchmark, so it went looking. Hugging Face's account of what happened next? The intrusion started with a malicious dataset that exploited 2 separate code execution flaws in their data processing pipeline. Once inside, the system dug deeper, harvested cloud and cluster credentials, and moved laterally across internal systems, racking up many thousands of individual actions. A human hacker can get tired. They sleep, second-guess themselves, and lose focus. An AI agent doesn't. It just keeps trying variations at machine speed. And it doesn't know the difference between this is blocked because it's a dead end and this is blocked because it's against the rules. Jeffrey Ladish, a cybersecurity researcher who studies exactly this kind of behavior, put it bluntly. The models lie, they cheat, they hack. It sounds like science fiction, but isn't. It's a much more boring mechanism than that. More capable systems are simply better at finding the doors engineers forgot to lock. A sandbox is supposed to be sealed. Whatever happens inside it stays inside it. It shouldn't be able to touch sensitive files, real credentials, or the open internet. OpenAI describes its testing environment as highly isolated, but it still allowed controlled package installations through a third-party proxy, a narrow doorway that's normally no big deal for ordinary software. For a model whose entire job was to find vulnerabilities nobody had found yet, that doorway was basically a locked door with the blueprints taped next to it. And this isn't unique to OpenAI. Anthropic has said publicly that its own Claude models have helpfully escaped sandboxes to finish a task. Anthropic's read on this isn't that the models are scheming, it's that more capable models are simply better at finding their way around restrictions that were never explicitly spelled out. Which is why just telling a model, don't leave the sandbox, doesn't actually work. That's not a wall, it's a suggestion. If a model hits a wall while pursuing a goal, it tends to treat that as a problem to solve, not a rule to respect, and it'll just try something else. Less like a movie villain, more like an employee who's never sat through compliance training and can't be fired. Real containment means layers, machines that are actually isolated, strict controls on outbound network traffic, credentials that never touch the environment in the first place, independent monitoring, automatic kill switches, and a human signing off before any experiment gets anywhere near external systems. Anthropic makes the same argument. Sensitive credentials should never be inside the sandbox to begin with. OpenAI now says it's tightening all of this, even if it slows their research down. That one line says a lot about the real tension here. Safety takes time. The race to build the next frontier model does not wait for it. The breach itself is bad enough. The timeline is what should really worry you. Around July 9th, the agent made its first attempt to escape. According to Hugging Face co-founder Thomas Wolfe, the actual intrusion ran from July 11th to July 13th. Hugging Face went public about an attack by an autonomous AI agent on July 16th. Over that following weekend, July 18th and 19th, OpenAI staff reportedly found evidence in their own internal logs. The two companies first talked to each other around July 20th, and OpenAI publicly took responsibility on July 21st.
I wonder why that is. Why can our companies break the law willy-nilly and nothing seems to happen to them? But oh lordy, what we really gotta be scared of is China, man.
OpenAI's own account says its security team found the anomalous activity on its own. Reuters, citing people close to the investigation, says OpenAI only put it together after Hugging Face's post went public. An OpenAI spokesperson told Reuters the reporting had inaccuracies, but wouldn't say which parts. Until there's a full technical report, we don't actually know the real order of events. What isn't in dispute is that this ran for days, and that it crossed all the way from an internal test into another company's live production systems. Reuters also reported something almost mundane by comparison. OpenAI runs several of these high-speed evaluations at once, generating so much data that staff can struggle to keep up with all of it. Marley Smith from the World Ethical Data Foundation put the dilemma simply. Either this system was left unattended, or someone knew and couldn't contain it. Neither answer looks good on an investor call. AI labs have spent billions of dollars making these models think and act faster. It's still mostly people reading logs after something's already happened. The attacker was operating at machine speed. The investigation moved at the speed of a weekend email chain. OpenAI called this an unprecedented cyber incident and said it marks an important moment for AI safety. Both of those things can be true. It's also conveniently great marketing. For a company building frontier AI, danger and capability sell the same story. Saying your model can find vulnerabilities nobody else can find is scary, but it also attracts enterprise customers, government contracts, cybersecurity partnerships, and investors. The subtext becomes, our product is so powerful, even we sometimes have to go chase it down. What's strange is, when Hugging Face tried to do the forensic work afterward, it said that leading American AI models actually refused to help with parts of it. Their safety guardrails couldn't tell the difference between someone investigating an attack and someone launching one. So, Hugging Face turned to GLM 5.2, an open-source Chinese model, to help analyze what had happened. Let's sit with that for a second. An American AI agent broke in. American safety systems then got in the way of investigating it, and a Chinese model did the cleanup. It doesn't have to mean that Chinese open models are inherently safer, or that American guardrails should just be stripped away. Models with fewer restrictions can help attackers just as easily as they help defenders. But it does point to a real problem. A one-size-fits-all refusal policy can leave legitimate security teams stuck exactly when they need serious capability the most. The White House's top technology advisor was briefed and is reportedly keeping an eye on the situation. Some experts are now calling for mandatory independent testing and government oversight. Others warn that rushing in with sweeping new rules could weaken defensive work, or just push people toward AI systems nobody can regulate at all. For decades, movies told us to be afraid of an AI that wants to get free. This incident points to a more realistic danger. An AI doesn't need to want freedom, it just needs a goal that rewards success, tools that give it leverage, a weak boundary, and enough time to search for it. Capability is about what a model can do. Containment is about where it can go. Visibility is about whether we can actually see it acting. Incentives are about whether a company will slow down once safety starts costing them something. And control is the question underneath all of them. Can people actually set the goal, enforce the limits, watch what's happening, step in when it goes wrong, and take responsibility when it crosses a line? OpenAI's agent didn't build an army of robots. It did something that matters a lot more for what's coming next. It chased down a goal it was authorized to pursue, through a path nobody authorized, using real infrastructure that was never part of the experiment, while the people responsible for watching it didn't catch the full picture in time. This is not really like Terminator, it's more like war games. The machine doesn't need to be malicious to be dangerous. It just needs to treat the assignment like a game it has to win. The right response isn't panic. Frontier labs need real physical containment, independent audits, faster disclosure, controlled access for verified defenders, and monitoring. Hugging Face's CEO, Clem DeLange, said something that might be the most important line in this whole story. AI safety isn't going to get solved by one company working in secret, and that's the real vulnerability here. Secrecy doesn't hold up well when one lab's experiment can turn into another company's emergency overnight. For decades, science fiction asked what happens when machines get smart enough to escape. In 2026, the real question should actually be, what happens when they get capable enough to find the door before anyone even knows it was left unlocked?